Welcome back to Parent Squad. We know video games are sure to be at the top of many kids' wish list this holiday season and really year round. But before you buy, there are things that every parent should know. So here to help us navigate all of this is Jeanine Bobenmoyer from the CityMoms, as well as Aubrey Quinn from the Entertainment Software Association. Aubrey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. So let's start big picture. We know video games just seem bigger than ever right now. There are a lot of trends that are happening this holiday season. What are you seeing?
So it's a good reminder for every parent that video games are just another form of entertainment. Your kids love to read books, they like to watch movies, TV shows, they love to play video games. More than ever, kids are playing video games. When we asked kids across the country, what are you hoping to get this holiday season? Nearly 3 out of 5 say video games, and it's the #1 ask for boys. But before you dive into your gender stereotypes, more than 1 in 3 girls is going to be asking for video games this holiday season. Yeah. So really, you can't go wrong with video games.
Yeah, okay, so let's actually talk the ratings. We know that movies have the ratings, video games do too. What should parents be looking for? You know, with films, we know it's rated PG, rated G or E for everyone. What is it?
Yes, yeah. Right. So video games do the same thing. For over 30 years, there's an independent rating body called the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB, and they rate video games based on the content that's inside the game. So just like movies, you can do E, which stands for E for everyone, E10 plus, everyone 10 and older, T for teen, or M for mature. So if you have a kid that's an age you wouldn't let them watch an R-rated movie, you don't want to buy an M-rated game. That's essentially an equal rating. But all the games are rated. You can see it right on the front of a package, or if you're going to a digital storefront like an Amazon, they also have the ratings there. So just at a glance, you can tell. The other feature that ESRB does that I really appreciate is that more and more games are online, so they have interactive features. So ESRB also tells you in the rating if there are interactive elements, like can your kids spend money? Can they interact with other players? And so if you are not ready for your kids to interact with strangers online, that's a good thing to know up front, and the ESRB rating will tell you if they can or not.
Absolutely. I think parents they know, okay, rated R, that's a movie, violence, something that shouldn't be there. But the same thing for games, and just because it says game, you certainly have to keep that in mind. Jeanine, do you see this in your household?
I definitely do. I love the fact as a parent that we can have these ratings. It's something I can easily go to and refer to, especially when my kiddos are looking for games, and have those on their wish list.
Are they asking?
Yeah, they definitely are. I have an 18 and 15-year-old at home. So yes, 100%, both of them are asking for it. So this is really critical. And just like Aubrey said, they're like movie ratings. And once you get the lingo down, you know exactly what you're looking for.
Well, and there's this huge misconception about video games is that they're violent, they're adult themed. The truth is, last year, 88% of the new video games were rated E, E10 plus, or T for teen. Most video games are not created for older audiences. Some are, right? But you know right away with that M rating if it's meant for mature audiences, and then you can keep your littles away from it.
Yeah, and just really about being engaged as a parent. So I didn't know this, but gaming systems have safety controls. So what tools are available to help parents manage these safety controls?
Yes, so as a mother of 3, I can tell you I rely on parental controls, and virtually every device that you can play video games on has a parental control system. And they let you do a couple different things. One, you can block games by that rating system we were just talking about. So my youngest at home is 12, and our game system is set up so she can see E, E10 plus, or T for teen. Okay. So when she goes on her Xbox or PlayStation, she can't even access those M-rated games because we use the controls that way. It also lets you put limits on for time. So if you're worried about how much time your kids are playing, you can set those limits and then not worry about it. The system will just shut down once it hits that threshold. They get warnings ahead of time. But you can also prevent user-to-user communication or tell your kids you can specifically play with this person or this person. So my oldest is at college, my 12-year-old's at home. That's who she's allowed to play with, and it's an amazing way for them to stay connected while they live across the country.
I love that, yeah, because it ends up kind of adding that social aspect into it. When they can communicate, but obviously you want to know who they're communicating with.
Exactly.
Okay, so a lot of these games offer purchases as well. How can parents keep tabs on that? Making sure that your kid is not out there just raking up the Roblox. What's the
Robux.
Robux, yes.
V-Bucks.
I've heard my coworkers complain about that.
Totally fair. So some tips for parents to know. And I'll start with saying game systems have changed so much from when I was a kid. I had a Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis.
Yes, we did
had
too.
to have the console. You had to have the physical games. More and more games are online, and in many cases, they're free to play. You can play on your tablet, you can play on your PC, which makes games more accessible. Think about, like, from a cost standpoint, you used to have to buy an expensive console, buy these games. Now, a lot of the games are free to play. Within those games, there is the opportunity to spend money. When we asked kids what they wanted video game related wise, the number one thing kids say is money to spend inside a game. They don't want a new game, they want money to spend inside the game, which is just so different than the way we grew up playing video games.
Is.
But if you think about the way you consume music, I used to ask for CDs for Christmas. When's the last time you got a CD?
Okay.
When you think about DVD,
I'm
movies,
trying to open my mind.
right?
Janine, you've probably seen this. It's frustrating. You feel like you bought the game already.
Absolutely.
You bought not a console, but the thing.
The thing, right?
Yeah,
And then you bought the game, and now you want more money to spend in the game
know.
to play on the console, to play the thing that I bought.
And to Aubrey's point, to be able to have that parental control on there, really critical. I mean, learn from a mistake that my husband and I made where we did not do that. And my son ended up with a lot of Fortnite, what they call skins. So they're just kind of like an extra costume. Yeah, and we learned that one the hard way. So
Oh my God.
I remind
Was it?
parents.
I gotta ask. Was it in the hundreds?
it was in the hundreds. Yes, thank
my
you for
gosh.
reminding me, Felicia.
Sorry.
But that was a very happy son. I have
was
no
a very
doubt.
happy
He had
son.
very cool skin.
Yeah.
We do this story every year where the kid has $5,000 of this ordered on Amazon or thousands of this was ordered, and then parents are trying to get a refund. Another reminder to pay attention to your bank statements.
Right.
Certainly.
And your parental control. So I like to remind parents, you have to put a credit card in to have that happen. So if you're worried about it, don't put the credit card in the system, and
I love
then
that.
the kids can't run it up. So that's like the number one fail-safe. But if you use the parental controls, my daughter can't spend any money. I get a push notification on my phone that she's requested something for The Sims or for inside Roblox or Fortnite, and I can say yes or no.
Yes.
And that
Or no.
puts me completely in control. Same thing if she wants extra time. Pops up on my phone, Daphne wants more time, and I say, nope, go do your homework. And it's awesome that the kids have the benefits of video games, right? They can play them, they have all the mental, social, emotional benefits that we know come from playtime, but parents are completely in control if they set up those parental controls. And one good reminder is to make sure you put your kid's actual birthday in, because all these controls have a
yes.
default setting around privacy, user-to-user communication, based on your kid's age. So if you fudge a little, the kid fudges a little and says, I'm 16 and I'm really 9, they're gonna have automatic access to more things than you may want. So big safety tip, as you set up those parental controls, use the actual birth date.
Because I could see a lot of parents not wanting to put their child's information in, but you miss out on the controls, as you just said. Maybe they put theirs in.
Yeah,
Oh, we don't need to put yours in there. Okay, one thing that was really cool, it stood out to us, a neat stat. It sounds like a lot of kids actually want to play video games with their parents. What's that about? You think, oh, my kid wants to escape away from us into this other world. No, the stats show that most kids want their parents to come play with them.
This is my favorite statistic from this year's survey. We asked kids, do you wish your parents played more video games with you? And the majority say yes. The younger kids say it in the high majority. So kids 5 to 8, it's 3 and 4 wish their mom, dad would sit down and play more video games with them. But even teenagers, it's close to 50%. It's like it's 47% of teenagers wish mom and dad would sit down and play with them. You know, growing up, we played a lot of, as I was saying, Nintendo together, but also Uno, Monopoly, Life, you know, whatever those games are. This is just the digital sort of 2025 version of that. And if you play Mario Kart, Fortnite, my kids loved it when I played Fortnite, Rocket League with them, because they get to show off to mom and dad. They get to show you, teach you new skills, but it's also like there's so much cooperation, strategizing, communication that happens when you're playing video games. so different than other forms of screen time where you're just passively consuming.
Yes.
Video games, you're engaged, you're interacting, you're using your minds, and kids are saying, Mom and Dad, sit down and play with me. So if you feel like they're pulling away, sit down, ask them to show you what they're playing, ask them to teach you. We heard loud and clear, that's what kids really want for Christmas.
Yeah, maybe just another way for parents to be able to get engaged and connect, and we certainly need more of that. And then maybe after you do that for some time, then you can be like, okay, let's get up, let's go outside.
Ride the
And
bike.
maybe it'll be a smoother transition because it's like, we're together, we're doing this together. At least we hope, right? Okay, from the parent perspective, Jeanine, what are the top things that you think we should keep in mind when we're looking for games this holiday season?
Yeah, great recap, I think, of a lot of what we've been talking about. I have three questions I always ask myself when I'm purchasing games. First one, did I check the ratings? So again, jumping on that ESRB website, pop in there. It's such a nice resource and tool to have. You can put in the title of a game, learn a little bit more information about it. So that's wonderful. Did I set up the parental controls? Always going to be question 2. Learn from my mistake and make sure that you've got that in place. It only takes a few minutes. And then third is, have we talked also with our kids about how to play safely online? So who they can chat with, how much time they're spending playing, and even how we're handling kind of those in-game purchases.
Yes, I love that you said that, because those are all things that it's a no-brainer, but unless you are intentionally thinking about it and intentionally doing these things within your family, it can get easily overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as parents, we have spent so much time teaching our kids about stranger danger and what does it look like if you're interacting with someone in a park or at a mall or at a coffee shop. And we don't necessarily have those conversations about online interactions. And so it's so important, if your kids are old enough and your family rules are that you can interact with strangers online, that they understand the risks associated with that on any platform. There are so many great functions, but if you talk to your kids about it and say you can report, you can block, you can mute anyone who makes you uncomfortable, but always come to me, right? Talk to me, tell me about it. The video game industry, I can tell you, takes player safety so seriously, thus ESRB ratings and parental controls, the report, mute, block functions, but ultimately you sitting down and watching your kids play the game, seeing if they're able to interact with people, if they're interacting with people, allows you to prepare them to be a good digital citizen, because so much of their life is going to happen online, whether it's video games, work, school, so much of our lives are online now.
Yeah, it's such a good reminder for parents to lean in, because the industry is not what it was 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago when we might have been playing. It's so different now. I mean, unless you still play. It's just so different. So there's so many things that could be maybe a little more cautious. You need to be cautious around it, but also so many things to help you be that safe parent and protect your child. Thank you all both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we have more on CityMoms and the ESA. You can head to WTHR.com/Parent Squad. And still ahead, Katie from Indy with Kids will join us to talk about great holiday attractions to enjoy with the kids.